Hello students, I am here with another video from the chapter Sources of Energy from class 10th NCERT book. Before starting today's video, I would like to tell you all that till now we have studied about fuel. We have also seen the features of ideal fuel and also the sources of energy. In the sources of energy, we have studied the conventional as well as non-conventional sources of energy. So, in inexhaustible and exhaustible sources of energy has also been studied, where we have studied about the fossil fuel like coal and petroleum with its advantages and disadvantages under the heading of conventional sources of energy. So, based upon this conventional sources of energy and the uses of fossil fuel, we have seen the working and construction of this thermal power plant. How this thermal power plant is working, from where it is producing the energy which is being utilized in the form of electricity in our houses and factories and other places where machineries are running. Similarly, we have also studied about the various non-conventional sources of energy, which means that these are the alternative sources of energy instead of using the traditional sources like fossil fuel, which are exhaustible in near future, we can use certain alternative sources of energy like water energy, that is hydro energy, and the wind energy we have discussed. Okay, so in hydro energy power plant also was being discussed with this advantage and disadvantage. Similarly, we have also seen about the working and construction of the wind energy farms, as well as how is this wind is going to produce the energy and which is being converted in the form of electrical energy. Similarly, we have seen the biomass energy and the construction and working of the biogas plant and how it is being installed in the villages where the electricity generation is not possible, where the cooking gas is not available, so it is used as an alternative sources of energy in those places. Okay, so now today we are going to discuss about one more such non-conventional sources of energy, that is the solar energy or the energy which is coming from sun. So it's very clear that sun has a lots of energy which is being sent in the form of sun rays to us from very long time. Okay, now this is the reason because of which this solar energy power plants are being generated, means they are being installed. Now, how is this solar energy utilized? See, solar energy means it is the energy which is coming from the sun. So this sun's energy is utilized in various sources like solar cells. Okay, even many other types of solar panels are available, the solar cookers are available. So this sun rays sun rays is very much important for us, as it is going to give the various types of energies such as which is utilized in various purposes. Okay, so this solar energy is radiated in all the directions, which contains infrared, even ultraviolet rays are also there. So some amount of energy is being particularly coming on the earth's surface, some amount of energy is being stopped, but still the energy which we feel in the form of sun rays is very much high in its intensity. Now since long time we are using this solar energy in the traditional way. Okay, we are using this solar energy in very traditional way. Now, what are these traditional ways? So this traditional ways means that the heat which is being produced, it is being used in various purposes, like it is used for drying the clothes, it is used for obtaining salt from seawater. The solar energy has also been utilized in reducing the moisture content of the food grains, okay, in the crops. Similarly, the solar energy has been utilized for the preservation of fruits and vegetables. Okay, so we have seen the traditional uses of this solar energy, but now these are the direct utilization of the solar energy. Okay, so the direct utilization is not going to absorb more and more sun radiation, but there is some other plan about using or harnessing this solar energy in an indirect way. Okay, now how is this indirect way harnessing of solar energy is being done? We know that fossil fuel are like coal and petroleum, they are natural gas, they are present in the very limited quantity, so they will be exhaustible in few days or few decades time. Okay, not in few days, but they will be exhausted in few decades time. Now, but these energy like sun's energy, this is unlimited. Okay, so this is present in an unlimited form, so that is why there could be an idea of using the non-conventional sources of energy such as this solar cells or solar energy or wind energy or water energy, so that it is not going to be utilized, it is not going to be because it is not going to be exhausted in a very few days or in very few years. Okay, so we there is abundant sources, there are abundant sources of energy on the earth, which is present on the earth's surface, which could be utilized for giving the ways, which could be utilized, such as it could give energy to run various machineries, as we have seen earlier also that wind energy, water energy is utilized. Similarly, this sun's energy could be utilized into two ways. One is the direct source, which I have told you that is a traditional way, and indirect way. Now, what are these indirect utilization of solar energy? So this indirect utilization of solar energy can be done by converting it into chemical energy like biomass, and then it is utilized in the solar energy like it is being utilized in other sources of energy. Okay, now here it is also utilized in the form of geothermal energy, which we are going to study for the next I'm hopefully in the next video, or maybe in the today's class only, if it is possible. So these wave energy is also utilizing the sun's energy. Now this sun's energy consists of the infrared rays, it consists of ultraviolet rays and the visible rays. Okay, so these are the various ranges where the sun's energy can be utilized. Okay, now in this module or in this video, we have only to study about the energy which could be utilized in various devices. Okay, so solar energy devices are very common, which is utilizing the sun's energy, like it is going to collect the heat. Some of the pictures you could see here also in the diagram, where it is showing you the solar cells. Okay, so this is the diagram for solar cell panel, where photoelectric cell or photovoltaic cells are being placed on a panel form. Okay, they are present one after another. So in a hot sunny climate, it is very much visible that using the electricity from this solar cell, we could light 100-watt bulb from just 1 square meter of this solar panel. So we could see the utility of this solar cell. This sun's energy is utilized in the solar cell, and this solar cell is going to produce the energy which is being utilized in generating this electricity, because of which we could also glow the bulb in our homes. Okay, now there are three forms of sun's energy by which we can use it. So first form is very common, that is the solar cooker. We can use this solar energy in the form of solar cookers. We can also use the solar energy in the form of solar cell water heater. Okay, or it could be used in the form of solar furnace. Now, what is the solar cooker? Solar cooker is, as the name suggests, it is something which is related with cooking. Okay, so the solar cookers are used in the places where where fuel is not going to be produced, or it is not being easily transported. So there could be another alternative source of using this solar energy, like solar cookers are utilized in the form where the sun's energy could be is reflected in the box type this solar cooker, where it is used to cook the food. Okay, similarly this water heaters are there, where the water heaters is placed with the help of the sun's where the water gets warm up with the help of the sun's heat. And you could see here this, it is having the water tank, then above this water tank we have given the solar panels are placed, which is utilized for it is being utilized for warming up the water, okay, for heating the water. Similarly, the solar furnaces are there, where solar furnaces means the furnaces are the place where heating is being done, okay. So this is utilized in the industrial purpose also, where reflectors are being used to generate a heat volt, or it is generating the it is going to generate so much heat that it could even heat up many it could heat up many types of things which is present in this furnace, okay. So this industry could also be run with the help of the solar energy, okay. Now we will see these devices and working and construction of these devices one by one. So the first one is that how we are going to harness this non-conventional source of energy. It is just an introduction for this. I have given many things about the ways by which the solar energy could be utilized and what is this solar energy about. So the solar energy is an energy which is obtained from the sun in the form of heat and light, okay. So it's very easy to understand, and it could be utilized in these devices, for example in solar cookers. Now this solar cooker is one of the best, you could say it is one of the best form of utilization of energy, where it is a device which gets heated up by sun's energy, okay, where it is known as solar heating device. Fine. So all the solar heating devices are designed in such a way that they collect maximum amount of the sun's heat, okay, sun's radiation. Now as soon as it is utilizing this sun's radiation and sun's heat in a best possible way, it is going to reflect inside the box, which is painted black. Now why black in color? I'll just tell you about the construction of this solar cooker, then I'll explain each and every part of this solar cooker, which is being utilized to generate a temperature of about 100 to 140 degrees Celsius, okay. So that the heat which is present inside this box, it is not allowed to escape, and this is only the basic principle of this working of the solar cookers. Similarly, solar water heaters are there, where solar water heater is an insulated box which is painted black from inside within the system of copper tubes, okay. So there are tubes which contains water, because of which this water is getting heated up and it is being collected in an insulated type of tank, where these pipes are going to bring the water, and it is going to bring this hot water which is being heated up with the help of the sun's energy, and this is being collected in a tank where the hot water is being collected, and it is utilized whenever it is necessary, okay. So this is how the sun's energy is being utilized in the solar cooker as well as the solar water heater. So this is how a solar water heater is going to work. So these are the these are the ways by which they are utilizing the sun's energy, okay. So similarly, this is one of the best, you could say this is the best designed way by which the box type solar cooker could work. Now we'll see this working and construction of this solar cooker. As you could see here, this is the first diagram which is showing you the construction of this solar cooker, and this is showing you the working. I'll just explain it one by one. So this construction of the solar cooker means what does it contains. So first of all, this solar cooker is a box type solar cooker, because it contains a box in which you could put the vessels in which which could be used for cooking the food, okay. Next, this is a wooden box which is having a thermocol inside. It is completely insulated. Why insulated? Because heat should not escape. There should be no place for the heat to escape, so that more and more amount of sunlight should reach inside these boxes, these vessels which contains food, okay. So what is there, and just above this box it contains a glass sheet cover. Just above it contains a lid, which this lid is having reflector, and it is also having a plane mirror inside it. Nowadays, instead of using plane mirror, the concave mirror is also used. Convex mirrors, concave mirror is concave mirror is used, so that it could be focusing all the light at one place, so that it could heat the solar cooker in a best possible way for cooking the food. So all these things are being painted black from inside. So this box is painted black from inside, and even the vessels are also painted black, okay. So this wooden box is also painted black from outside. So what is the reason why we are using these dark paints inside the solar cooker? This is painted black because we have also heard about, we have also seen that the dark color objects or dark color itself is going to absorb more and more amount of sun's radiation. Okay, it absorbs maximum sun's rays, and it helps in the less reflection of the means this is going to lose less and less amount of heat. The complete heat is getting absorbed and it is being sent towards the vessels which contains raw food inside it, because of which this food could be cooked. Now, as you could see, the construction contains these many things in the box type solar cooker. We can see the working. It is very easy to understand the working of this solar cooker. Now, what is the working of this solar cooker? So this solar cooker consists of this reflector, which is good. What is the function of this reflector? The function of this reflector is to reflect the sun rays which is falling on it. Okay, and next thing is that what is the function of this? Next is this glass cover. So this glass cover is of a plain glass sheet cover. Why this is a plain glass sheet cover? Because this plain glass sheet cover could be utilized in sending all the reflected rays inside this glass plate. Once this glass plate is sending all the sun's rays inside this solar cooker, it is utilized in cooking the food. Why it is cooking the food? Because it is containing the temperature of about 100 to 140 degrees Celsius. Okay, so this is how this sun's rays is utilized in cooking the food. Now the complete radiations, which are the sun's radiation which is reflecting on the surface, is on the reflector. It is going to be reflected inside. It is going to be reflected inside this box, okay, which contains vessel, which contains raw food material inside it. Now once this complete radiations are going and direct radiations are also reaching, so this glass is having a very peculiar property. Now what is the basic principle behind this? I'm going to tell you the basic theory behind the working of this solar cooker is that this temperature which is being increased inside this solar cooker is not going outside. Now why it is not going outside? Because the glass has a very peculiar characteristic that it produces the greenhouse effect. Now have you heard about greenhouse effect? I hope everybody has heard this word, that is greenhouse effect. What is this greenhouse? So this greenhouse is mainly used in the hilly areas where the sun rays are not coming daily, or we cannot use the sun's rays daily. So these plants die. So what happens in the glass house? So glass has a property to which allows the sun's radiations to go inside completely. Okay, so this is going to allow the sun's rays to go inside completely, but it is not allowing the light energy or this heat energy to escape. Okay, it is not going to allow the sun's rays to come out from the glass container. So this is the main reason by which the temperature gets heated up, and why is this vessel going to cook food. So this is the food is being cooked because the temperature is getting raised up, and this rising temperature is going to cook the food which is present inside the vessel, and maximum amount of reflection is going inside the solar cooker because of this presence of this reflector. So plain glass is allowing all the light and heat to go inside of all the wavelengths, but it is not allowing the glass this is not allowing the heat to come out from the this solar cooker. Okay, so the complete utilization of the heat and sun's energy is being done. So a black surface absorbs more heat as compared to a white surface. Okay, under identical conditions. Next is that solar cooker is utilizing this property in the working as it achieves higher temperature by the use of the mirrors to focus the rays of the sun. So it is going to focus, as I told you, that it is going to focus maximum or all of the sun's heat, sun's radiation which is coming on this reflector surface. Once this reflector surface is going to reflect all the radiation inside, this black surface traps all the heat. Thus the temperature of the surface rises and food gets cooked. Fine. So this is how the food is getting cooked. Now this is the working of the solar cooker. I hope you all have understood. So you could see the diagram here which is showing you that the radiations are coming. So these radiations are going on the reflector. This reflector is reflecting the complete radiations inside this box where the vessel is being kept. Now this vessel is going to cook the food as it is kept from day to evening, and it is going to be cooked in 2 or 3 hours. Okay. Similarly, now the another device is there which is, okay, first we'll understand the advantages of using solar cooker. So it's very easy to understand the advantages of solar cooker because this solar cooker is pollution free, it is using renewable sources of energy, it is going to save the fuels like fossil fuels, then it is not allowing to lose the nutritional value. Yes, this is also a very good advantage because when we cook food in the cooker, in the gas, then on heating it on the gas, then what happens, because of frying or because of cooking it on a high temperature, food loses its nutritional value, so it gets degraded. So what happens, but there is no alternative way to use these nutritional values, so we are just bound to use all these traditional cookers. But if we are using these solar cookers, then what happens, the food is not going to lose its nutritional value. Next is that it can cook 4 items at the same time. Okay. Next is, what is the disadvantages of using this solar cooker? So the disadvantages of using solar cooker are as follows. First one, it is not going to be used at the night time. Okay, why? Because there is no sun, so no solar radiations. Next, it could not be used in the cloudy and rainy days, means there is an issue because again the same condition, because if proper amount of heat and sun's radiation is not going inside the solar cooker, it is not going to cook food. Next thing is that the direction of the reflector has to be changed from time to time. Why? Because the direction of the sun radiation changes, so the direction of the sun radiation changes, so we need to go and change the direction of the solar cooker once the sun is going to move from one place to another place. Okay, so we need to keep facing this reflector towards the sun. Why? Because it will allow maximum amount of radiations to go inside, sun's rays to go inside the reflector is going to reflect the complete radiation which is coming on the surface. Okay, so that is why it is a very we need to take care that where is the sun and where is the sun's rays coming from, where is the sun rays coming. So we need to go and change the face of this reflecting surface. Next thing is that it takes lots of time to cook food. Yes, of course, yes, because this is not efficient enough to cook the frying things also. And yes, one more drawback is that it is not utilized for cooking the frying things. Okay, we cannot use the frying and baking purpose. It cannot be used for frying and baking purpose. But nowadays the box type solar cooker is also it is using very slow heating. Next, it is now for baking purpose and frying purpose, spherical shaped solar cookers are being utilized. Now spherical shape reflecting means it is this reflector which is in rectangular shape. This has a spherical shape. Okay, and various spherical mirrors are used. More than 1 or 2 mirrors are being used, so that it is going to it could be used for cooking the frying food also. Okay, next, solar concentrators are used in this spherical reflectors. So these reflector surface are going to focus where the principle behind this is that it is going to reflect the complete radiation which is falling on the surface of the reflector which is spherical in shape. So it can be used for frying and baking purposes also. Okay, so these are the some ways by which you could use the solar cooker and why you should not use the solar cooker. Next, the solar water heater I have explained about. Now I'll explain about solar water heater. This is a device. The picture was just shown here before some times before this. So this is a solar water heater which is utilizing sun's radiation, where it is going to it is having, I said, it is having very small tubes which absorbs sun's radiation, and water is flowing inside these tubes. Now these tubes are directed towards a tank which is going to collect the heated water, this hot water, and it could be utilized for storage purpose, and it could be utilized whenever it is necessary. It is being fitted at the rooftops of the hospitals and hospitals or hotels, and it could also be installed at the other buildings where the utilization of this hot water is there. Okay, next is the solar cell panel. We will study about with the solar cell panel. This is the next device which is there, which is utilizing this sun's radiation in the form of solar cell panels. Okay, so before studying about this solar panels, we should understand what is the meaning of this solar cell. So each one of this small square which is placed here is known as solar cell. Okay, now this solar cell is aligned one after another to make solar cell panels. Okay, or solar, only it is known as solar panels. Now solar panels or solar lamp is utilizing this sun's energy again to give us the light also. Now how is this electricity being generated? Now this is solar cell is a device. Now first we should understand what is the meaning of the word solar cell. Solar cell is a device which converts the sun's energy or solar energy into electrical energy, okay, or into electricity. The solar cells are made up of it is a device, so we can say that solar cell is a device which is converting the light energy into the electrical energy. Now about 100 years ago it was discovered that when sun's light fall on a thin selenium element, then electricity is being produced. Okay, it was also found that 0.6% of sun's energy or light energy which is falling on this sheet gets converted into electricity. Fine. Now why this is very much difficult? Now this is very low, but it is efficient. If we are using an efficient amount of solar cell, efficient number of solar cells, it could be producing a large amount of electricity also. So this is the efficiency. Its efficiency could be increased. Now before starting the solar cells, we should understand, because it is using, solar cell is made up of using semiconductors like silicon, germanium and gallium. Now what is the meaning of this word semiconductor? So semiconductors are those substances which have very low electrical conductivity. Means they are conductors, but sometimes they work as insulators. Means they are neither good conductor of electricity nor they are complete insulators. That is why they are called semiconductor. The word semi means it is half. They are half conductors and half insulators. Now why this is happening and why this is being utilized? So because of this property of conduction, which is very less in its amount, means it has a very low conductivity under ordinary conditions. But when when certain impurities are added in these semiconductors, means if we are adding impurities to germanium, if we are adding impurities to this silicon, it is going to be utilized considerably. It is going to increase the amount of electrical conductivity. Fine. Now the most two common type of semiconductor materials are silicon and gallium. So these conductors are used for making the solar cells. Now what is the use of this semiconductor in the solar cell? The use of the semiconductor in the solar cell is that it is going to produce about 0.5 to 1 volt, which is a single solar cell is producing this much, okay, about 0.7 watt of electricity. If several solar cells are arranged, then it is going to produce more electricity. That is why these semiconductors are utilized to give some amount of the electrical energy, which is this is going to give you some amount of electrical energy, and then this electrical energy is going to be efficiently utilized. Now this use of semiconductor is very much increased in its number, because if we are increasing the amount of semiconducting material like silicon, gallium and germanium, then we could utilize about 10 to 15% of this absorbed radiations in the form of the electrical energy. Now, how these solar cells are being made, means what is the construction of this solar cell. So these solar cells are made with the help of the semiconductors. Why? See here, one layer of semiconductor is placed and another layer of semiconductor is placed here. So one layer contains silicon boron layer and another layer contains arsenic silicon arsenic layer. Okay, so and the above surface is having the reflector glass, which is going to absorb more radiation. Okay, it has a glass panel which is going to absorb the sun's radiation. It is very similar to that solar cooker or solar heater, where it is going to absorb the sun radiation, is going to be absorbed, and then it is going to be transferred to the silicon boron layer, to these semiconductors. Now what is happening inside the semiconductor, means what is happening inside the layers of these semiconductors. So this was the construction. It is very easy that this the solar cells are making use of the semiconductors. Now the main principle lies behind these layers, which is the silicon boron and silicon arsenic layer. Okay, so the construction means it is having the reflecting surface for absorbing surface, which is going to absorb more and more solar radiation, which is going to send to these silicon boron layer, to these semiconductors. These semiconductors are going to produce electricity, which is going to be utilized in the form of electricity. It is again going to convert the electricity. Now how is this electricity produced? We know that electricity is produced because of the flow of electrons. Now why and how and from where these electrons are coming? So these electrons are present in the semiconductors. Now what happens actually inside these layers of these semiconductors? See, it contains the silicon layer and the arsenic layer. Okay, so here boron and silicon, here silicon and boron is there, here silicon and arsenic is there. So the silicon is imbued with the boron, and again next silicon is imbued with the help of this arsenic. So here arsenic and boron are utilized as impurities, and I told you that whenever semiconductors are having these impurities, they will be utilizing the flow of heat, and then because of this heat, electrons are present in these layers because of the presence of these elements. Now what happens? These elements are going to produce the free electrons. So these free electrons started jumping from one layer to another layer. Okay, similarly this is going to jump from one layer to another layer. So what happens? Because of the flow of electrons, because of the jumping of the electron from one energy level to another energy level, because of this flow of these charges, the electricity is produced. So positive and negative charges both are being generated, and because of which the electricity starts flowing. Once the electricity starts flowing, it is in the form of direct current. So it is going to be converted in the form of the see, one more working is written here. I'll just read out. A typical solar cell composed of a thin layer which has phosphorus silicon. Okay, sometimes phosphorus is also used. Okay, similar. Now what happens when sun rays strikes these photovoltaic cell, the surface of photovoltaic cell, this electric field is going to be produced, and it is in the direction of the light stimulating the electrons, which results in the flow of the electricity inside these solar cells. So this is how the electricity is being produced inside this, and now this electricity is going to be converted in the form of the direct current with the help of the generator, with the help of the inverter batteries. They are being charged, and then they are converted in the form of alternating current, and then it is being utilized in our homes. Okay, so the voltage is reduced, and if it is going to produced in our homes, what happens to this? It is going to be sent back, means the extra current is again sent back to the wire lines if it is produced from the home itself. Okay, so this is the solar cell panel. So this is a diagram for the solar cell panel, where solar cell farms are used to produce a large number of electricity. Okay, next is the advantages of using the solar cell or solar energy only. So it is the advantages is very clear, that it is not causing pollution. It is because it is an alternative source. Next, it can be used in the remote areas where no power supply is there, and it is an renewable sources of energy. Now what could be the disadvantage? As you have seen there in the solar cookers, it's very okay, so these installing these grids means making these solar farms, it's very expensive because silicon is very expensive. Next, silver is also utilized in this, which is very expensive. Why silver is utilized? For making one such layer of that this solar cell, because we know that silver is the best conductor of electricity. That is why the silver is utilized in the one of the layer of this semiconductor. Okay, so one of the layer of this solar cell, it produces the direct current which is converted to AC current, which increases the cost. So one type of current is produced, then it is going to be changed, converted in the another form, and then it is being utilized, so it becomes its cost is going to be increased. So these solar cells are being utilized to provide in artificial satellites. It is also providing electricity to artificial satellites, so these could be counted as advantages. In India, it is used for street lighting, and then water pumps are also running. Then solar cells are utilized for generating the electricity in lighthouses, where you could not go very easily, or it is offshore oil drilling places where they are there. It is utilized to give the electricity in the lighthouse. Next, these solar cells are also operating in this also helps in the devices like calculators and electronic watches. So these are the advantages of using solar cell panel, but there are certain disadvantages. We cannot ignore these disadvantages, because it is very costly, and it is utilizing such expensive things, because of which it becomes very expensive for the person to afford this. Okay, so with this the wind energy, or this solar energy concept of solar energy and these solar energy devices is over. Next, we will study about the energy which is coming from the sun in the next video. So children, that's all for today in this video. I'll meet you all in the next video with the next topic to be explained.